Hey folks, what's up? Welcome back to another Poem Masters video, and today we're going to go over Sygna Blue and Blastoise's sync grid. I mean, yeah, it's there, it's a sync grid, but, like we've mentioned before, not much stuff on here, unfortunately, to talk about. So, anyways, let's go over all this stuff. So, as usual, we'll just go through all the stages, right? And also, as usual, 1 out of 5, there really isn't much to pick up, right? Blue and Blastoise, fantastic support. Well, tankish, plus support. It's a mix of that. Obviously, you don't really have too much again here, right? So just pick up your water pulse, move gauge refresh, quick cure, and you basically just pick up everything, right? Just pick up everything, and yeah, there you go. Still got 19 energy left because none of these are really relevant, right? If you really want, you can pick up like the water pulse power-ups, I guess. But yeah, nothing too much at 1 out of 5. At 2 out of 5, you do get some more options, right? You could actually pick up some really nice stuff here. So first of all, picking up Quick Cure, X Defensal, MP Refresh, that's always good to have. You still want Water Pulse, Move Gauge Refresh, right? And if you go down here, Natural Remedy is nice too. Like the Quick Cure and Natural Remedy, I know the guy's grid is bad, but like for a tank, this is good stuff. This is good stuff for a tank, right? Because especially for Blue, who is a tank that has a lot of HP, you could really get punished by DOT a lot, right? Since they do kind of deal, they don't have to worry about your defenses when they're dealing damage, right? So it's nice to get these both of these. As for some other stuff, you definitely want to the top MP refresh, right? Because two to the top, one of the like biggest downsides of to the top is that it runs out relatively quick. One sync move cycle and it basically runs out, so it doesn't stick around for too long. So you want as many as this as possible, right? Plus, it's just normal to pick up MP refreshes on trainer moves, right? As for some other stuff, I guess if you're running it in a rain team, obviously you pick up Racing Rain. If you're not, then just pick up, I guess, stats, right? Stats that aren't special attack. Maybe pick up the speed as well. That speed. And yeah, that's basically all you got for 2 out of 5. Again, pretty standard. Nothing out of the ordinary. There's not that many nodes to deal with either. Moving on to 3 out of 5. You got some interesting stuff that you could work with. So basically, there's 3 grids that you could, make with Blastoise, right? One being like a full, support grid. One being a support that you could also run in Rain, which is really, really good because you do have Refreshing Rain, which, like one of the other issues with Blastoise is even though he has high defenses, high HP, that really doesn't matter that much in this day and age in the meta if you don't have heals, right? That's why even though Sygna doesn't have the best defenses, although it's really, really good in HP, Sygna is still a much better tank than a lot of other 90% of the other tanks in the game that don't have any means of healing, right? Although again, Sygna has really good defenses. Like Sygna is just so overpowered, man. Sygna is just incredibly overpowered as a unit. But yeah, and then also you could also make a damage build. Although I'll talk about that damage build in a bit. But anyways, but yeah, you definitely want the standard stuff again, that you got from 2 out of 5, and you probably want to pick up Impervious as well. It depends on the stage, but Impervious is always nice to have because there are a lot of pretty annoying stat lowering moves that the opponent generally uses. Stuff like a Rock Smash that could lower your defenses, which is kind of annoying. Bulldoze, Icy Wind to lower your speed. Generally are slightly are slight issues. Struggle Bug, I guess, although again your special attack doesn't really matter for the most part. But yeah, there are some really annoying moves that could decrease your stats. So yeah, definitely pick them up, or even like passives, right? That just straight up decrease your stats, like the one with Latios. I can't remember what they're called, Mindbreaker or something. I don't know, but the ones that guaranteed lower your defenses. So yeah, Impervious is nice to have. You want Water Pulse, Move Gauge Refresh. Well, you know what? You might not need it because like if it depends on the content you're facing. If it's something really, really short, then you don't need it because you do have to the top. But if it's longer, then you probably want to pick up Water Pulse MGR. As for some other stuff, to the top, MP Refresh, Natural Remedy, pick those up as well. Pretty standard. And with the 8 energy left, it really is just up to you, right? Just some stats. He has a decent amount of speed in his grid. Let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah, it's 30. It doesn't make up for much, but it's something, I guess. Yeah, pick up some other speed nodes. And that's basically it, right? There are some other options. You could also pick up Wise Entry if you want. But obviously you have to sacrifice some energy. Maybe drop Impervious, pick up Wise Entry. If you want that. The ones that you definitely don't want to drop is to the top MP Refresh and X Defense All MP Refresh, right? As for the other stuff, Quick Cure and Natural Remedy, you could also drop those two as well and pick up both Impervious and Wise Entry, but it just depends on what stage you're fighting, right? I don't think Wise Entry is that big of a deal because generally, the opponent, most stages don't really start out with like very high damaging moves. So your passive, which I love this passive, right? Force Field 4, generally, you'll accumulate enough special defense buffs to usually, be enough to bail you out, right? But again, you could pick that up if you want. If there's no statuses that the opponent ever throws out, then you could just pick that up. If not, then, probably want to keep these two, right? As for Rain Grid, right? Rain Grid is much more interesting because Rain Grid does give you heals, which is, again, like I mentioned before, very, very good. So Rain Grid, obviously, like your number one thing you want to pick up on your Rain Grid is Refreshing Rain. Like, stuff like, if you're running like if in the future we get like a better Rain unit, you run that Rain unit, you run Blastoise, you run stuff like Mega Venusaur or some other gradually heal. Like every turn, the amount of like HP you heal, like 80% of the time is gonna be more than the damage you ever take on Blastoise. So this would be very, very helpful. But again, at the moment we don't have that many great Rain units. I accidentally clicked Raging Rain. We do not need Raging Rain. Again, yeah, this is assuming support Blastoise, right? Again, still Quick Cure, MP Refresh on that. To the top MP Refresh, and that's basically it because since we do have Racing Rain, we don't really need Water Pulse, Move Gauge, Refresh as much, right? The last 8, energy can't really pick up either Impervious or Wise Entry, so, and not that they're a huge deal either. You just pick up some other nodes, right? Stat boosting nodes as usual. Maybe you want to pick that special defense up, because again, you're generally the tank, and since you have Racing Rain, I don't think speed's that much of an issue. But yeah, that's a sort of Rain support / tank grid that you could definitely use. Moving on to like some damage grids. The only time like this guy's damage is really, really bad. Okay, like you could potentially make him output a decent amount of damage per move, but like it's on a 4 gauge move, and obviously he hits the his damage is the worst among all the 4 gauge move users in the game. But I guess it's weird. Like even after you mega, like he doesn't get any special attack when he megas, but like these are level 120 stats. So they haven't updated it to 125, but after you mega, you get like 190 special attack, something like that. I mean, again, pre-mega, post-mega doesn't matter, because he only gets defenses after he megas. But yeah, Mega Blastoise gets 190 attack, which is atrocious, right? Or a special attack. But you do have like some okay-ish multipliers here, right? If you want to pick up Smart Cookie, come down, pick up, Raging Rain again. What I do want to stress is that if you are running Blastoise as a striker, you have to run in Rain, or else you're just not getting damage. You're just not getting any damage at all. You got to pick up Raging Rain. As for some other stuff, just the Hydro Cannon stuff, right? Want accuracy, so you could drop one of these power-ups for accuracy. If you want Racing Rain as well, you could also pick that up and drop two of these, 2 more of power-ups. It's just that, I don't know, I just feel like you have to the top, but like I guess you could like strategically plan it if you are running like a rain grid, right? Like you could start out with the rain, and then like when your rain goes out, then you could use to the top instead. Or if you don't want to deal with that, you know, if you think the rain is enough for your speed on the team, which, you know, it could potentially, right? If you're running it with much faster units, other units that have racing rain as well, then you can maybe skip to the top Impervious Refresh and just pick up like Natural Remedy instead, if you think that's like a better option or whatever. But yeah, in general, you don't have too many options for a damage grid. Again, you do want the both multipliers on Smart Cookie and Raging Rain, or else you're just not right. Is there any way to pick up Refreshing Rain? I guess you can if you go ahead and pick up the if you go up and actually, can you pick that up and still maintain it? How about that? -2. I guess your best option is just come through here, pick up the special attack. And if you are going for Refreshing Rain, you definitely need someone to buff your accuracy, because, you know, like a Sabrina or saying so Lisa. Because if you miss one of these Hydro Cannons, you're just screwed, right? You're better off just using an ungridded berry, probably. That might be a slight exaggeration, but yeah, it's not good if you miss your 4-gauge moves. So, anyways, that's me with this one, I guess. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like and enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel for some more Pokemon Masters content. One more thing I do want to announce, I mentioned before we're done. I almost forgot. Endurance, I don't think it's that big of a deal. For those wondering. But again, I'll see you guys in the next one.